offers AI-powered legal analytics, workflow tools, and business insights on industry trends, helping you make more informed decisions and deliver better results. For the practice of law, the business of law, the future of law. The difference is Bloomberg Law. Learn more at pro.bloomberglaw.com.
Asset managers who seize change to launch new strategies, add distribution channels, or exploit new technology to re-engineer the investor experience are often rewarded. However, in an industry paralyzed with complexity, few act with agility or decisively. Few run their businesses strategically, yet the most competitive managers in the market know with the right partner and a flexible operating system, you can. Go boldly toward change with SEI Investment Manager Services.
Determination and operational strength are both essential factors for growth in asset management. I'm Steve Meyer, President, Head of SEI's Investment Manager Services Division. We know that disruptive forces create opportunities around the world. If you see potential in change, our industry specialists will maximize SEI's integrated platform of data and risk management, global investment operations, compliance support, and investor services to position your asset management business for success. Come grow with us.
With SEI Investment Manager Services, you lead the charge in a competitive marketplace. Learn more at SEIC.com/seize change.
Why do wealth and advisory firms rely on BNY Mellon's Pershing? Maura Creekmore, co-head of Wealth Solutions, explains.
As the wealth management industry continues to transform, growth-minded firms like yours are rethinking how to best serve investors for the future. That's where Pershing comes in. Whether registered investment advisor, broker-dealer, or trust company, we see the world from your perspective, and we serve as a true extension of your team. As a Pershing client, you can expect something different. An expansive community of experts and resources that can guide you to success. Our investments in most innovative and flexible technology allow you to deliver game-changing experiences for your advisors and investors, all with the unmatched scale and capabilities of BNY Mellon. So you can be confident that no matter how your business grows, you can grow with us. How will you take your business to the next level?
To learn more about the industry-leading solutions for wealth management firms and advisors, visit Pershing.com. Pershing LLC, member FINRA, NYSE SIPC.
Drive time, traffic, and weather every 15 minutes on Bloomberg 1130, and trouble coming out of the Lincoln Tunnel into New Jersey. 495 west to Sunley Avenue with a crash closing one lane. As we check the ride inbound at the Lincoln, we're looking at a 5-minute delay. At the Holland Tunnel, 10 minutes in from 1 to 9:30 in the outbound direction. And the Harlem River Drive remains very slow northbound coming to the George Washington Bridge. The backup starts in the 130s. Bruckner Expressway improving west of 149th with a crash now cleared. Into New Jersey, local lane 78 eastbound at exit 58 with a stalled vehicle. And as we take a look at the ride now on the Garden State Parkway, an overturned vehicle cleared. Southbound by exit 140B, still a 15-minute residual delay. On the Hutchinson River Parkway, a crash northbound at Orchard Beach Road. And in Putnam Valley in Putnam County, Taconic State Parkway northbound at Bryant Pond Road with an accident closing one lane. Bloomberg 1130 3-day weather forecast. For tonight, increasingly cloudy, low near 70 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, chance of showers in the afternoon, high between 75 and 80. Showers continue tomorrow night, low near 70, and then Friday showers again, high at 80, but sunshine for both Saturday and Sunday with a high temperature near 80 degrees. 84 degrees and sunny in Central Park with the best ride in and out of the city. This is Bloomberg 1130. Bloomberg Business Week continues.
Broadcasting live from the Bloomberg Interactive Brokers Studio in New York. Bloomberg 1130 to Washington, D.C. Bloomberg 99.1 to Boston. Bloomberg 106.1 to San Francisco. Bloomberg 960 to the country. Sirius XM Channel 119. And around the globe, the Bloomberg Business app and BloombergRadio.com. This is Bloomberg Business Week.
Mike, do you have any vacations coming up?
I do not. I had a big one in the spring.
Okay.
But just kind of staycationing for the summer, if you will. Okay. Right here in the studio, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure. It seems like everyone but us is taking vacation right now. A bit of a summer of discontent, at least from the airline's perspective. But we're going to talk to the CEO of Trivago about what he sees in just a couple of minutes. But let's
first get to Charlie Pellet for some news.
Hi, thank you very much, Katie. Here's what's going on. The Dow, the S&P, NASDAQ all advanced today. In fact, the S&P gained for a third straight day as investors sifted through the economic data that hinted at slightly slower growth, prompting some to brush off the hawkish stance that the Federal Reserve reiterated in its June meeting minutes as outdated. Today, the S&P was up 13, up 0.4%. The Dow up 69 today, up by 0.2. NASDAQ up 39, gain narrowed 0.4%. 10-year yield 2.92%. Spot gold down $25 the ounce to $17.39. Drop there of 1.5%. West Texas Intermediate crude up 1.4%, down 1.4% today. WTI now with a 98 handle, 98.11 on West Texas Intermediate crude. Well, as for the overall mood of the market, Lisa Erickson is head of Public Markets Group at U.S. Bank Wealth Management, and she was our guest right here on Bloomberg Business Week.
We are really overall cautious still on the U.S. equity market, and that's really on the back of just a number of forces that are causing, we think, a continued force more on the downside as opposed to the upside. And those would be chief among those. First, the Fed policy, where obviously they are needing to tighten.
GameStop shares rallying after hours, up now by 2.1%. GameStop announcing a 4-for-1 stock split in the form of a dividend. British Airways is scrapping another 10,300 flights through the summer peak travel season as the carrier struggles with an ongoing staffing crisis that has contributed to travel chaos across Europe. Today we saw IAG, the parent of British Airways, its American depository receipts advanced by 1.2%. Recapping 10-year yield 2.92%, S&P up 13, up by about 0.4. I'm Charlie Pelleton. That is a Bloomberg Business Flash.
All right, thank you so much, Charlie Pellet. Joining us now is Axel Hefer. He is the Chief Executive Officer of Trivago. He joins us on the phone from Germany, another night owl, joining us on Bloomberg Business Week. And Axel, I mean, it feels like all of the headlines recently have been about staffing shortages at airlines, flight delays, soaring fuel costs, also eating into their bottom lines. But from your perspective, from your unique perch, I mean, has that affected travel, summer travel at all?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting point in time, to be honest, because we are coming out of the pandemic and everybody was looking very much forward to the summer travel. And you see actually a very strong demand for summer, but on the other hand, you also can see that the experience is not good. Prices are very high. You have, as you said, you have labor shortages everywhere, so the outlook is actually not that good.
Yeah, Axel, is there any sense of when things will get back to normal? This has just been a really nasty summer, as Kay said, for delays and cancellations. Is there any light at the end of the tunnel that you can see?
Yeah, it's not that easy, to be honest, because it's not only in the travel industry. I mean, you've got labor shortages pretty much everywhere, and I mean, to me, the question really is how do you get the world back into balance? Yeah, so there is a lot more demand than what can be filled by the current staff levels and by supply, and I think we'll probably see a slowdown in demand. I have to see a slowdown in demand, and over years, demand and supply will meet each other.
And so, Axel, it's interesting. So Trivago has actual data points here. You have a study that found that 83% of respondents believe that summer of 2022 will be the best yet for travel and adventure. Sort of square that circle for us. How does that sort of be a possibility amid some of the themes that we're talking about?
Yeah, so I mean, in the pandemic, we have seen one thing very, very clearly. I mean, no matter how difficult the situation has been, and no matter how big the health worries have been, people want to travel in summer, and so they need to get a break. They need to break out of their daily routine. So, and that's I think what you can see in the survey that we've run, that coming out of the pandemic, we are all looking very much forward to the summer. But the experience in the summer in many places is actually not that good because the supply is not able to meet the demand. Plus, obviously, you have all these problems in the world, which are leading to bad service, to high prices. And I mean, for us, that's actually interesting because we compare prices. Yeah, so in a way, higher prices and And a bigger discrepancy in different price levels is for us good because we can provide more value to our users.
You know, Axel, Katie and I are major market nerds, if they didn't warn you. So we often view every story from sort of the market angle, and the big story this summer is the currency market. Weakness in the euro. It's almost trading dollar for dollar on parity against the dollar, and the dollar at multi-year highs against many currencies. Is that affecting travel trends at all? You know, are we seeing more Americans visit Europe and fewer Europeans visit America this summer?
I mean, you've got transatlantic travel up in both directions, not unexpectedly. So you can't really see that, at least in the numbers that we have. You can't really see that because you have this overall recovery of transatlantic travel that is just dominating the overall trend. I think it might be something that you potentially will see in the months to come, because you're right. I mean, it got a lot cheaper for Americans to go to Europe.
And Axel, we have just about a minute left with you, and then we're going to come back after the commercial break. But I'm curious, you know, in sort of the data that you've collected, have you seen any difference in how people are traveling post-pandemic, whether that's with someone or, you know, the type of trips that they're taking?
Yeah, I mean, we've got the usual suspects on top of the list. So in the U.S., you've got Las Vegas, Orlando, New York City, all in the top 5. So we haven't seen that fundamental shift. Asia is still not back because obviously the situation there is more difficult. But other than that, the behavior is much more normal compared to what we've seen last year and the year before.
All right, much more normal behavior. Maybe things are normalizing a little bit. Fascinating stuff. That is Axel Heffer. He is the CEO of Trivago on the phone from Germany. He's going to be sticking with us as we sort of break down peak travel season. It is the summer, at least in North America, and in this pandemic world that we're living in, people want to travel. Difficult time to do so, though, when we think about what the airlines are going through. In any case, we're going to have much more of that coming back. But before we get there, let's get a check on the latest world and national news with Nancy Lyons, who joins us from the 99.1 newsroom in Washington, D.C.
Katie, the accused Highland Park parade shooter is being held without bond following a hearing earlier today. He'll be back in court July 28th to face 7 murder charges. Following today's hearing, Lake County Deputy Chief Chris Cavelli told reporters the parade shooting may not have been the only attack the suspect had in mind the day before changing his mind.
What investigative leads have thus turned up is that while he was driving and he located the celebration occurring in the Madison area, he contemplated another attack with the firearm he had in his car.
Deputy Chief Cavelli says the suspect was arrested once he returned from Wisconsin to the Highland Park area. President Biden is taking credit for a provision in the pandemic relief spending bill that kept pension plans from going belly up. This afternoon, he touted his actions before a Cleveland crowd of trade union members.
The money, the president said, saved the pensions of millions of workers whose companies contributed to industry-wide plans.
Other employee plans will remain solvent for decades. Those retirees who lost their benefits will have them restored retroactively. Millions of workers will have the dignified retirement they earned and they deserve.
Pacing the floor with a handheld microphone, campaign style, the president said not a single Republican in Congress voted for the pension protection bill. In Washington, Irv Chapman, Bloomberg Radio.
A defiant British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is battling to remain in office, shrugging off calls for his resignation after 2 top ministers and a slew of junior officials said they could no longer serve under his scandal-plagued leadership. Johnson says there are, quote, hugely important issues facing the country. Global news 24 hours a day on air and on Bloomberg Quick Take, powered by more than 2,700 journalists and analysts in more than 120 countries.
All right, we've got a timely story here. British Airways scraps over 10,000 more flights on a staff shortage. This is through the summer season as it grapples with a staffing crisis. Of course, nothing new. We're seeing this both, in Europe and in the U.S.
Yeah, Kay, all I can think of is all those ministers who used to work for Boris Johnson trying to get the heck out of the country and not be able to catch a flight. But BA has been among the carriers hardest hit by this staffing crunch. It actually dismissed 10,000 workers at the peak of the COVID pandemic. And the latest move comes after the UK government waived rules that require airlines to use airport operating slots or lose them the next season. So it just goes to show, it's so hard to shut down an industry like air travel like we did in the pandemic and then try to restart it and have everything be back to normal.
Yeah, it's just a bizarre time all around. And the airline did say in an email that this new flexibility means that we can further reduce our schedule, consolidate some of our quieter services so that we can protect as many of our holiday flights as possible. So hopefully this is just a summertime thing. And passengers are going to be able to rebook with British Airways or another airline. That's interesting. Or get a full refund, it said. But still, huge disruption. I mean, who likes getting their flights canceled?
Absolutely not. And, if you'd wondered why didn't they just cancel these flights when they realized they'd have a staffing shortage? Well, they had already extended their summer timetable cuts to 11%. With this latest announcement, it's eliminated almost 30,000 flights. So